This is our review of the Roborock Q7 Plus, not to be confused with the Q7 Max Plus, which is a slightly different model sitting above this in the range. The Q series is new to Roborock and it sits just underneath the more established S series to compete with the more middle range robots. The Q7 Plus in particular is an auto-emptying version to replace the S5 or the S6 models. It has all of the features that you expect on a Roborock vacuum. It has LiDAR, which is the same laser-based system as the flagship models. This is a laser that rotates constantly under this cover and takes 360-degree measurements of the room, so it always knows exactly where it is. This is extremely impressive, like all of the other Roborock models, and we didn't really see any difference at all in performance. It also has quick mapping, which the S7 doesn't even have. This means that when you take it into a new home, you set it up and you press quick mapping and it will just drive into each room, take a quick scan, and then return to base and save the map without having to do a full clean of the whole house. After the release of the S7, the S6 and the S5 models have become really good value, but they're not compatible with any auto-emptying system. Obviously, Roborock have identified that there is a gap in their market though, and this is where the Q7 fits in. It is a competitor more of the Ecovacs N8 than the T9. There are a few new features on the Q7 over the S6 and the S5 though. It has a new roller brush system, which is the same as the S7 or the S7 Max. And this is really good because it gets a lot less hair tangled around than the older bristled style. It's also a floating mechanism which suctions right down onto the ground and does a really good job. At 2,700 pascals, that is actually more than the standard S7 model, and it has enough power to do a really good job, as you'll see later on in our cleaning tests. The biggest downside of the Q7 when compared with the S7 is that it has a standard drag around mop. It doesn't have any of that ultrasonic mopping, nor can it lift the mop up over carpet. So I think that if mopping is important to you, then shelling out that extra little bit of cash is definitely going to be worthwhile to upgrade straight to the S7. On the Q7 Plus model, the water is just a gravity-fed water system, which allows for an enormous dustbin of 750 mils, which I believe would be the biggest on the market. It's not super important if you have the auto empty base because it will empty itself into the dock every time it returns to charge. However, you can buy it without this, and at 750 mils it will do a very large house without filling. It has all of those smart mapping features that the S7 has. You can do virtual barriers, which are just lines on the app itself, where you can draw around a specific area and the robot won't cross that line. You can also name your rooms or divide them into separate areas, and then you can add those to your schedules. So you can clean the kitchen at a specific time after you've finished dinner, or you can clean the whole house after you've left to go to work. It performed much as I expected on all of our cleaning tests. It got about 97 or 98% of the seeds on the hard floor, but it did flick quite a lot around with that side brush. On the carpet, again, it got about high 90s, similar to the Roborock S7 model. The only thing that it really did struggle with, as we kind of expected, was the mopping. The mop isn't great, it's good for a maintenance sort of clean, but again, it is a gravity-fed drag-around mop, so it's not really good for stubborn stains or anything that's really tricky to remove. We test all the robots by putting a lot of hair on the carpet and pushing it in a bit to see how well it will pick it up and to see how much will actually make it into the dustbin as opposed to getting tangled around the brush. And once again, the Q7 did get quite a lot tangled around the edges of the brush. In reality, it's not a real world test, so it will do well with most hair, but pushing it to the extremes allows us to compare the different models more easily. The auto empty station does require a dust bag, which is an extra ongoing cost, and the S7 model in Australasia can be bagged or bagless, so you can save a little bit of money there as well. I would recommend this robot for medium to large houses, for people that want to have a good robot vacuum on a budget. It comes with all of those good Roborock features and the solid app, frequent updates, and excellent navigation performance. If the mopping is important to you, I would definitely recommend looking at the S7 model instead. However, if the mopping isn't too vital, then you may find that the extra money is just not worth it. Make sure to subscribe because we're going to do a real in-depth review of the Q7 Max shortly. Otherwise, for now, check out our review of the much more hyped S7 Max V Ultra, which is on our channel.